Hi, I'm Scott Sneath from BluChip, and today I'm with Henry Thrun. Henry is a Harvard graduate, and he was not only a member of the hockey team, but he was captain and first-team All-American. During his time with Harvard, Henry played on Team USA and won a gold medal at the U20 Worlds. Today, Henry is a member of the San Jose Sharks in the NHL. Welcome, Henry, and thank you for joining BluChip today.
Thanks, Scott. Thanks for having me today.
Before we get into it, I have to ask you this. Take us back to March 2023. You play your last NCAA hockey game for Harvard in the NCAA tournament. 48 hours later, you're on a plane to San Jose to meet up with the big club. And a couple days later, you take the ice against the Las Vegas Knights, defending Stanley Cup champions. You record 2 assists that night. The Sharks beat the Knights 4-3 in overtime. Your parents are there, your brother's there. Just walk me through that night and that whole experience.
It's a great question. It's something that is definitely a pretty special time period in my life. You know, I think everyone has a lot of dreams and goals growing up, regardless of what they may be. You know, for me, I wanted to be an NHL hockey player, you know, from a young age, and to kind of have that happen, especially at the end of a college career that I was very proud of, and at a school that I really loved going to. To have that moment come together and have my family there was pretty special, and to have it go well, and you know, be successful both from a personal and team perspective, it made it even better.
You had to go back to school to finish a couple classes. Is that right?
But yeah, I returned back to campus. You know, showed up. You know, put my hockey bag in the rink, and was an everyday student again for a couple weeks, and had to wrap up and graduate just like everyone else.
So talk about being a student athlete in college and how that helped you prepare for being a professional athlete today.
The biggest thing upon turning pro, kind of having it become my career, would definitely be the time management piece that I took away from college. You know, when you're in school, both at the high school and collegiate level, you know, school is a majority of your day. You know, you're in class from 8 to 3 o'clock, and you know, at nighttime you're usually getting some homework done. So it's something where you're really just granted an afternoon window of practice time. So for me, that time management piece was pretty crucial. It was an adjustment at first, because obviously there's no school, which, as I said before, takes up a lot of your day. I think at first I was just really excited and kind of maybe overly eager, and probably spent a little too much time sort of training and, you know, trying to, you know, spend time on hockey and do as much as I could, where I think I kind of had to pull it back a little bit and recognize, okay, like, you know, when I'm at the rink, that's my job, that's what I'm doing, be fully focused. And when I get away from the rink, like, learn how to relax, learn how to kind of step away, clear your mind. So it definitely is something that it was an adjustment for me. But I do feel pretty strongly that college, between balancing school, athletics, and as well as social life, does a pretty good job of kind of setting you up in terms of transitioning into a pro career.
One thing people don't realize is that at some point along the line, there's a pretty intense and extensive interview process.
At age 18, the NHL Combine, you know, the top, I think it's 100 prospects get together in Buffalo, and are there for a week of, you know, physical testing, mental testing, and as well like interviews. And you know, you get your schedule, and you get, okay, you know, I'm interviewing with, you know, San Jose, Boston, New York, all these different teams, and it truly was a job interview of sorts. You know, you walk into a room, and I think this is kind of unique. You walk in, and it was 1 on at least 6. I mean, the lowest number I think I walked into was maybe 4 people, and the highest was as many as 10. It honestly was like speed dating. We'd literally go on the suite level of the arena, and each team had a suite, and you'd go in for 15 minutes, talk to them, they'd pepper you with questions, they'd go to the next one. So it was a crazy process, but it's something that I felt I learned a lot from.
Well, it sounds like the interviews went pretty well for you. Hey, I want to pivot a little bit and talk about some other things that you're involved with off the ice.
This past summer, I flew into Vegas, where each team, I want to say, sent 2 guys to basically come together for our board meetings and our union board meetings, which I think is kind of, people forget that, there could be a union for truckers, there could be a union for NHL players. So we came together. Marty Walsh is our executive director, and he basically ran us through 2 days of meetings, and we talked about gameplay on the ice. We talked about revenue that the league creates. We talked about contract negotiations. So you get to see kind of the ins and outs, which I think is super cool. And again, it's not something that everyone necessarily follows, but there's a communication level from the PA to the player reps to the rest of the team. So it's something I've slowly started kind of get involved with, just as something I have an interest in and a passion for, which has been great.
So the college schedule is maybe 30 to 35 games. If the pros is 82 games for the regular season, and if you make the playoffs, you go even longer. So talk about how you prepare your body, your mind, and how do you surround yourself with a support group to make sure you can make it through a season?
As you mentioned, we play 82 games, and our season's 192 days. So call it, you're playing, 2 games every 5 days almost. So it's hard, and you're not practicing as much. Whereas in college, you practice Monday through Thursday, and you play a game Friday, Saturday. Now you're pretty much you play 82 games, of which 41 are in a different city around North America. So it's hard, and there's a lot of travel, and you're playing a lot of different buildings. So for me, it was tough to kind of adjust to that, particularly around with my energy levels, just because I think, physically you learn how to take care of yourself, and you kind of use the different tools that are available, and you work with the specialists that are on the team to kind of keep your body, fresh and feeling good. But mentally it's hard, and there's not as many, resources, I guess, kind of put towards making sure guys are fresh mentally. And I think it's something that it's hard, going from city to city, and being able to be sharp every night, and be at your best. Learning to kind of turn it off and turn it on was a big thing for me, rather than constantly being on and kind of always, working at, that 90%, more focusing on, okay, I'm going to be 100% when I'm on, and like 0% when I'm off, and just kind of trying to get into that phase. So when you do need to turn it on, you feel fresh and you feel kind of ready to go.
You have kind of a unique perspective, because your office is also the office of many other supporting functions and disciplines within the business of sports. Talk about that a little bit, and what you're exposed to and what you see from the inside looking out.
It's pretty unique because there's positions to work in many different aspects of it. I mean, thinking to on the more sports side of it, you obviously have the general manager and the assistant general manager and the scouts and the guys that kind of do like the hockey side of it. We have a whole analytics department, and we go to the strength trainers, where they have their whole team, where we have our head strength trainer, we have a director of sports science, we have our nutritionist, our dietitian. They all help us on the day to day. You go downstairs, and there's the athletic trainer, which is more on the kind of physical therapy side of things. And, he has assistants, and he has a full-time masseuse, and he brings in, people that do, dry needling on us, or, different, really specific therapies. So there's a lot of different things you can do kind of on the team operations side. And as well, there's all the ticketing, marketing, social media, which is something that I don't see as much on the day to day, but I know it's something that it's at the end of the day, our team is a business, and hockey is a business.
If you had to tell freshman Henry Thrun something that you learned in the 4 years, what would you go back and tell yourself?
Yeah, I think, oh gosh, now I'm thinking back to freshman Henry Thrun. I think for me, the biggest thing, just both through college and even before then, that I've found has always helped me is that I'm really passionate about what I do, and I truly do love it. And I think that's a really big driver for success, in terms of a professional standpoint. I think it's hard to be motivated to do something that you don't love to do.
Henry, thanks so much for taking the time to speak with us today. Really enjoyed it, learned a lot, and good luck with the upcoming season.
Thank you, Scott. Thanks for having me on.